Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show, though slightly late this week, all about the shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg, and this is...
Werewolf fanboy Matt Strange, and this is...
Man that's never played werewolf. Muir.
but knows...
How are you guys this week, recovering from the holiday excess?
Tired, hungover, but all right. Just in that post-Christmas stage of I've only eaten things that contain too much sugar and too many calories, and only drunk things that contain alcohol. Otherwise solid. What about you boys?
Well, I have spent an entire week since Christmas Eve playing nothing but Cyberpunk 2077. Go on.
I'm going to give it a go at some point. Like, I'm not hugely hyped.
Just wait for it to be on the sale, mate.
Yeah, no. Like, everything I've heard is people who either really like it or people who've gone, yeah, it's good. And that's often what I want in a review of a game. If everybody's saying, like, a game, oh, it's the best game ever, game, blah, 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 it makes me hate it more. And it's normally something that, is just too bollocksy for me. But Cyberpunk's at 2077 because a few people have gone, yeah, it's right, it's a good first-person shooter with some story. That's actually more likely to draw me into playing it.
Yeah,
maybe I'm just a disagreeable person.
Storyline is fantastic, but that's coming from someone who's an old Cyberpunk 2020 fan, and it kind of ties into that really well. Without wanting to give away any spoilers.
We need to get back onto how Strange is very disagreeable. Yes.
This is probably going to be a slightly shorter show. It's mainly going to be just our reviews of the week. But we will start
speeding through.
Yeah.
Because of Christmas.
Because of Christmas, and because we've probably got another show to do on Sunday.
Mate.
But this might be the first time you've listened to our show, and as such you would need to know that we have a tier list, which is how we give our reviews and scores for the matches in Dynamite overall, Dark, and BTE overall. Mr. Strange, I'm assuming it's just going to be a normal tier list.
It's a boring list, I'm afraid to say.
A standard rundown, but over to you.
Yeah, man. Okay, tier list. You may very well know it from YouTube, comes from the Japanese school system, which is quite similar to the English school system, or used to be. Apparently that's changed now and we get numbers. Either way, it's an alphanumerical tier list. We start with D. D is our lowest ranking match. A D is a match which you don't care about. Maybe it's a bad squash. Maybe it's boring. Maybe the wrestling's off. You just don't care. Or anything which slips below acceptable is a D. We don't go any lower than that because it's a pain in the ass. One step up, we got a C-rank match. C-rank match is your standard good match, is what we expect a match to be. The wrestling is solid. The storyline, you care. Sure, it can seesaw a bit. Maybe the wrestling is great, but the story means nothing. Or the other way around, maybe the story is great, but the match isn't the best. C-rank, you've enjoyed it. Good bit of TV. We rock up there from there to a B. B is a very good match. B is Sean Spears versus Scorpio Sky in pretty much every match they have. You've got good story and their wrestling is smooth as shit. When you've just got that match which is just really well done, that's a B rank match, and it's got to have story and the wrestling's got to be solid. Up from there, we've got an A. A is probably your match of the night, sometimes your match of the month if it's a rough month. A rank matches have everything. It's great. You don't take your eyes off the TV. Story, wrestling, heart. They tell more of the story in the ring as not just in promo packages. Good fucking stuff. That's an A-rank match. Top of the tier is the rarer match, the S match, the superior, the Sugoi match, as they would say in Japan. S-rank matches have everything. They're the accumulation of a storyline. The wrestling is great. You've got phenomenal spots. They blow some paradigms. You've got story going in and coming out if they're not concluding it. S-rank matches are the ones you send gifts to your mates who don't watch wrestling of, or me and Nick send photos of Kagetsu hanging Mayu over. S-rank matches are that top tier. So D, shitty. C, good. B, very good. A, amazing. S, you post pictures on each other's Facebook walls 3 years later. Like the Black Lotus Triad versus Pentagon Dark.
Come on, before we got that out of our system, God
It's
damn it.
never going away.
It's back, boys.
It's like
back.
Orton and Edge. It never ends.
So, time to move on to the news, and because we've done this show slightly late, there is only really one piece of news this week in wrestling. We obviously would like to send our own condolences and thoughts to the family of John Huber, otherwise known as Brodie Lee, who passed away on the 26th of December due to a lung-related illness, non-COVID related lung illness. Yeah, this is quite heart-wrenching. Guys, what are your thoughts? What do you want to say about it?
Well, I mean, I'll roll this into social media, which I normally cover, to be honest. I'm a very detached person when it comes to celebrities and celebrity deaths. I, in fact, got a little bit famous on the internet in 2016 for telling people to cheer up over celebrity deaths. And this one's actually almost got me a bit. It's always a tragedy when a wrestler dies, especially in their circles, and you always see the sadness of their friends and such. I have never seen a response like this about any wrestlers' deaths. And that's not to demean the tragedy of anybody else going, but the love the wrestling community had for this man. Xavier Woods and Ricochet both did his discus lariat finisher on their respective shows. Retribution did his kisses on the entrance. Lexi Bliss did a yeah, yeah, yeah reference, which is to do with his character Luke Harper. Big E has not stopped tweeting about him. We're talking multiple ones a day over it. Everybody has nothing but love for him. Bray Wyatt has just been going on about him. But yeah, he was so close. John Silver was wrecked. I've learned he had John Silver's new ring gear made and sent it to him just because Silver, didn't know what to do. He had his old coat hemmed up and gave it to 10. He helped Dax from FTR through a personal issue they went through, which had never been spoken of. It is everywhere. People just fucking love this man. And even I almost got a bit choked up at a few points. It's really sad that a guy of his standing, his skill, his youth, he's just beloved, and he's been taken so early and so young out of nowhere as well. It's just really sad. Like I said, I've never seen a response like it in communities before. Just go on Twitter and look in the wrestling community and you'll see it. Everyone from Eddie Kingston talking about matches they had back in the day. Chucky T, because Big Rig, as they call him, was a big part of PWG and Chikara. Jericho put up a photo of when he got a bit upset in WWE, Brodie that is, about not having a T-shirt. So all the boys designed and bought all of them T-shirts of Brodie Lee to wear around backstage. Just really sad, but a lot of heartwarming memories, and you can see where the love is. I'm not sure I can really offer more than just, this was a beloved man who... just deepest condolences to everybody. And when I was watching Dark earlier, the Dark from this week, not today, last week, not today's Dark, his son is on that Dark. It's just heart-wrenching. Although I didn't know him and have never been connected to this apparently wonderful man, condolences to anybody connected to him. Just sad. Somebody's going to have to pick up the cheer now because I've seen a lot of this for days.
What can you really say? It's just heart-wrenching to see someone die so young of anything, really, Especially when he was finally starting to do a character that he actually enjoyed and he was, getting into his stride with wrestling again. And, it's just sad.
At least he got a title run, and I know that might sound very minor, but titles mean a lot to wrestlers, and being given that push and being allowed to do big thing is a huge part of their life. So I don't mean this in any way to diminish, his death, but at least AEW gave him a good run. Cody said apparently he asked if when he beat Cody for the title, if he could pin him without hooking the leg, and Cody was cool with that. So he got a big moment in the industry he quite clearly loved and was a huge part of.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately we are used to wrestlers dying young, but it's usually due to other reasons. We don't appear to have had any of those in recent years, which is good. And I think that's one of the reasons it's just hit everybody so much, because it was completely out of nowhere.
No steroids, no drugs, no alcohol problems, none of the
Not
traditional.
the 80s anymore, no.
Yeah.
Or the 90s.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, on that sad note, and I think we've covered social media there. We just
move on.
Yeah, go and check out Twitter. So, moving on from there, we will move on to our review of the week, and as always, we start with BTE, or Being the Elite. Mr. Muir.
Right, so this starts off with the Dark Order caroling.
God, it does.
Which was brilliant. They're all trying to make each other corpse with the lyrics of it, by the sounds of it. We then had Christopher Daniels and Kaz starting off the Christmas carol that was going to go on for the rest of the show.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry,
it
was before drinking. I watched this, so I'm getting reminders.
Pure fact of A Christmas Carol is my favourite Christmas story.
As long as it's the Muppets version, then it's acceptable.
It's a really well written story.
Yeah, any version of A Christmas Carol is my favourite Christmas story, and this was just brilliant. The second I clocked what they were doing, and just how good/bad best friends were. Was just they were just so good at being bad. It was brilliant. Carry on.
I forgot my line.
Got high-low for the BTE belt challenger. Britt seething on this a lot. I really dislike how Marco acts like a child, even when he's backstage. He seems to be just a little twat sometimes. Then Marco won it. I can't even read what this word was.
Hatred powering through. Then Marco won it. Disgusting.
Yep. Dark Order something. I can't read my notes and I can't remember. It's been too much alcohol.
Was this Dark Order in the toilet?
Yes, it was. Dark Order in the toilet. That's what it says. Thank you, Morg. I knew you could save me.
Hi, welcome to our well-organised podcast.
Then we met the first ghost, which was Ghost 1, which was Trent. In a coat. No, I'm a ghost.
No, I'm a ghost.
Wasn't it Trent in a bathrobe?
Yeah, the same bathrobe that Cassidy wears later. Only Chuck didn't wear the bathrobe.
They should have all had the bathrobe. Then we had a Matt Hardy bit, which I still don't care about. But
wasn't that him having a bit of a sulk?
Yes.
I actually quite enjoyed that.
I didn't hate this because of it. Well, we finally got the why, Matt, why? Why are you being a dick? And this is why I'm
a little tantrum.
This is why I'm turning heel. Yeah. Back to our old rule, although I've stated I don't think that we can use that as much because you're kind of expected to watch BTE. I think this should have been on the main show because it's the explanation. But
tomorrow's show, tonight's show, if you're listening, I suppose, / tonight's show when we're recording, if you're in America, is going to be very different to the show we were originally intended to have.
Oh yeah, so, the memorial show.
Yes,
so
we might have been getting an explanation for Matt in character, but hopefully we will see this sort of breakdown and issue on the main show.
Yep,
I'm with you.
Then we had the Statlander OC shipping part of this sector.
They know what the people want. They know what the people want.
Uh,
People have missed the Orange Cassidy and Statlander shipping, even though she's got a boyfriend.
Then we had Kaz with the Dark Order again.
Kaz is great. I love him.
He has such an anger problem. Why? Why does he have such an anger problem?
Maybe he's like me. He just has an attitude problem.
Just angry man.
Likes punk bands nobody's ever heard of. Drinks real beers and really likes them. Has an anger problem.
Maybe there's a connection here.
My long lost cousin Kaz.
Then we had the second ghost turn up, which was Chuck.
Chuck was the fucking best ghost. God, he was great.
So bad, he was brilliant.
I forgot to do my line. We tried to kill him. Are you doing a bit or are you a ghost? No, I'm a ghost. He's the other part of my soul.
Yeah.
It's Chuck.
Kaz fucking hates Marks. That's what we find out from this part of the ghost story. Then we move on to OC being the third ghost.
Gotta be nice to Brandon.
Gotta be nice to Brandon, man.
Or he'll beat you. That's what made
in a
it.
squash match.
There was no lesson learned. Like
it was just violence offered.
Tiny Tim, go buy a bunch of those shitty White Claws for the boys drink. We bought some White Claws a few months back to try them because of a huge culture rise in reggae ska circles and professional wrestling. They're fucking awful.
What are they?
So it's basically soda water with alcoholic soda water with a slight hint of flavour.
Why?
So you basically drink it. Oh god, I ate spicy water anyway. It's fucking awful. Don't trust anybody who enjoys the taste of soda water. If you like, you'd be in a bar and working. I mean, though I have been out to bars in the past, and I'd be like, oh, what? White wine and soda water, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just drink the white wine. Put lemonade in it if you need to make a spritzer. Don't put soda water in anything. It's as if somebody had somehow combined sawdust and water to make some fucking awful thing that tastes worse than both. Hi, welcome to our
Remember when this was a wrestling podcast?
Soda water is only useful for one thing, and that is if you are feeling a little bit queasy, you have a small... just like a double shot glass worth of soda water and it will stop you feeling queasy. That is its entire use.
Flat Coke is my drink of the hangover morning.
Flat Coke is just as good. Does the same
right,
thing.
do you want to carry on this wrestling?
Yes, go on.
No, we're talking about drinks now. This is a drinks podcast.
Okay.
Go on.
Then we get the bit with Hangman at the end.
Oh god.
More of the Hangman Dark Order
How
story.
can he not join after that song? How? He has to be in.
He has to join them just because they sung a shitty song.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Other things I could discuss, but it seems a bit too soon to discuss them.
Yeah.
Basically.
Exactly. I enjoyed this. This was a really good, happy pre-Christmas.
Yeah, it was pre-Christmas fun. Well worth a watch if you're into wrestling and Christmas.
What are we giving it? An A?
Yeah, I think it's worth an A. I think it's wholesome, heart-filled. You've got a bit of humour for everybody.
I'm wondering, do you know what? I'm wondering. There was nothing really bad, but the only bit that we had a downer on was the Matt Hardy, and even that me and Strange said we thought was good because of it gave us some storyline. And that Christmas Carol segment, I think it might. Oh,
you want to S rank it?
I think it might be. I don't know.
You've drunk too much alcohol.
Strange, you've got to decide then. Strange.
It's an A at best.
I am going to be fair.
You want any of my whiskey tomorrow, Strange?
I'm going to be fair. I'm going to give it an A for now, but I will rewatch it for Sunday and readdress it if I think it's an S. So that way I get to drink whiskey, but if I decide it's an S, I'm still safe and get to drink whiskey.
Can I suggest you drink whiskey while watching it?
No.
Yeah, yes, you can. Very good episode, very Christmassy.
Yeah, it was very good.
Full of heart.
So moving on from BTE, we move on to Dark.
That's Strange's speed review of Dark.
It's going to be the speed review.
It's a mid-tier review. I've actually got a few notes on a few things in here. So stop me if you want. It was normal, I suppose.
Remind me what happened.
Well, we open up. Our first match is Bear Country, who I'm really happy to see back again. This is Jurassic Express. Solid enough match. Bit one-sided, obviously, because their job is on Dark. Jungle Boy just gets fucking better and better. All he needs to do is work a bit on his promo game and gimmick, and he'll be like one of the top stars. Boulder is fucking phenomenal.
I love both of them.
Boulder did a moonsault. Did a top rope moonsault. He's like 6'3" and like 700 pounds.
The heavy machinery you've got at home, mate, they're great.
Bronson doing his little pole driver of Jungle Boy into Luchasaurus was wicked as well. I like that quite a lot. Weirdly, like I know I say I always pop for a Doomsday device, but are they being used a bit too much?
Too much. I've seen
they are becoming the Canadian destroyer of the tag team division.
And out of the two teams in that ring, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and Bear Country should be the ones doing the Doomsday device, you know. Otherwise, fairly solid match. And we had Tesha Price versus Nyla.
Not Fisher Price.
Not Fisher Price.
Well done.
Tesha needs to work on her stage presence. She looks at the camera a bit too much. And don't get me wrong, she's enjoying this head snap and smile at the camera, but it does make me feel a bit like she's in stop motion, because like every 3 seconds her head just snaps to the hard cam. Some kind of sinister horror being.
She doesn't have the Utami skill, no.
On the Doomsday device issue, Nyla's starting to do that sunset flip, stumble, not fall over, pick them up by the head thing in every match, and I'm noticing that now as well.
Also, that leg drop where she hangs someone out to dry on the rope is too fucking long.
Oh, I didn't mind it this time. She's not done it in a while, and she got up to the top corner a lot quicker than normal. Maybe she's working on it because she hasn't used it for quite a while. The Beast Bomb became the primary thing, and get that back in, just smooth it up a bit. Squash match either way, we can skip through that. Now a match I didn't expect to enjoy. Sunny versus Miro.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting anything from this.
This is possibly my favourite match I've seen of Miro on AEW. Miro is fucking beast-shaped, and he's looking more beast-shaped each time. And Sunny knew he couldn't overpower him. So it was a proper little boss fight, tripping, counters into recounters. Really nice showing of fun speed versus power. I think
Miro finally got the right opponent so that AEW fans who may not know him from WWE can see why he is so beloved by WWE fans. They finally gave him the right person and didn't just give him an out-and-out squash.
Yeah. Also, his camel clutch finisher, I'm not normally that impressed by, but when he did it on Sunny and it went all the way back and over and locked down, it looked wicked. So it was a short but really fun match. I can say I could watch this one. I didn't note it down to watch it, but I actually really enjoyed it, and I've been critical of both wrestlers.
These wrestlers, yeah. This has been a good match.
The Britt Baker bit, my first comment is, and I already want to die. But then Kaz and Christopher Daniels had a really...
Just took over it, yeah.
Shouldn't have been wasted on that Brit section. Shouldn't have been wasted on that Brit section. That should have been on a show. That was an explanation of the characters, what's going on between them, seeing a little bit of heart from them. Should have been on the show. And 100%. Not on the Brit bit.
Yeah.
Jasmine Alia versus Rosa, another new women's. I just wrote fine, so we can skip that.
It's all right.
It's all right. Stu Grayson versus Lee Johnson. This was weird because I'm normally a fan of both of these people, and they weren't that smooth together. There was a lot of quite weird, awkward moments, and Stu gave Johnson some time. They just didn't seem to gel very well for me. And normally I say I don't want to squash and I want to see a longer match where the more jobbery people get over, but I feel like this match was a bit of a waste of my time, if I'm completely honest with you.
Though Taz obviously listens to our show because he referred to Stu Grayson as being underrated.
Thanks, Taz. Taz and Shad. our 2 of our 20 listeners. Gracia versus King.
Ugh.
King is really improving. Like, if you watched her in that match, a bunch of her moves hit really, really well. Gracia pulled off the worst 619 I've ever seen. It was awful.
I see Joshi's do that like every fucking match, and that is the worst one I've ever seen. I can't believe it. It was terrible.
She does have a great tiara, so I've got to give her that. Like, the actual flow around on that is pretty good. Otherwise, the match was all right. I don't think Gracia deserved that win over Kylin. We've watched Kylin grow and build and improve in all style.
She
and all of
just
a
got
sudden,
it because of Dynamite.
Yeah, just I didn't approve of that. Then we had Pretty Peter's pageant provocation, which wasn't half as fun as I was hoping it would be.
Wasn't, but it was still fun.
I love fucking Pretty Peter. He's great. And admit, Ruth disagreed with me, but when Mike Werner walked out, I was like, he is a handsome man. I mean, he knows it. He knows he looks like Henry Cavill, otherwise he wouldn't have the Superman gimmick.
No, mate. He knows what he's doing there.
I didn't think Mike Werner was that impressive, but his 4-way slingshot vertical suplex was cool, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that was wicked. I think that's a lot more believable than a held vertical suplex.
It was just there to be pretty, mate.
Yep. Taz has a great. Taz is phenomenal on the mic whenever he's got a comedy wrestler. He has the fucking best time.
He loves
but
it.
I don't think Vernie was that good of an opponent for Avalon.
It wasn't great.
No, it wasn't great. Right, this is where I believe you should start watching the show. This is where my first proper recommendations come in. Bertie Vixen versus Red Velvet. Is Vert Vixen meant to mean Green Fox? Who knows? That's what I wrote down.
Always with the top news.
Top news, Matt Strange looking at wrestlers' names and ripping on them. Vixen was actually pretty good. I quite enjoyed this match. Red Velvet is one of the best women wrestlers they've got or had, in my opinion. I think she's really good. And,
I think she could carry anyone to a good match, in all fairness to her. I'm not saying that this girl wasn't good. I'm just saying that I think,
Yeah, and Velvet pulled off that iconoclasm. That's what Excalibur called it, which was some big fucking drop slam thing. Looked dope. Watch this match if you want to see the potential in AEW's women's wrestling, is probably a good way to put it. Then we had another really fun match, to be fair. It was Solo, Fuego, and Ray Jazz in a jobbers team versus the Dark Order, 10-5, and Colt. And Fuego and Colt had a fucking great time. I'm really enjoying having Indie Colt back. We've not seen him be full bell-end comedy Colt since the start. And it was great. 5 has just expanded his array of moves.
So good as well.
Yeah, no, he's just really solid. Every single one of the jobbers got a moment to do their things. Ray Jazz, more of a standard wrestler. Solo got to pull off some of his cool flippy shit he does. Fuego got to do a bunch of different things. And the toss sequence with Fuego trying to pull off his tornado DET with them throwing. Really, really good match. Really enjoyed this. Also, when they pointed out Brodie's son, and my heart broke a little bit because I watched it this morning.
-1.
Yeah, -1. I was like, oh, man.
Apparently, Brodie's son has an AEW contract.
He does have an AEW contract.
Good. I wonder if he'll be the new Exalted one. Right, then we wanted to another new woman. It was Maddie, I haven't got her first name down, versus Layla Hirsch, who we're all aware I'm in love with. I love the rest. She's fucking great. Stardom, innit? On the other hand, Hirsch's entrance music is bad. She should have just come out to the Soviet national anthem. I
We can't do that.
Otherwise, this was a solid match, to be honest. Layla Hirsch could turn anything into an armbar. Maddie's actually got a lot of potential and had a bunch of cool moves. Once again, worth a watch to see where the women's division can be going and to watch our tiny, fantasy dwarven queen just fucking crush
Destroy
things with
someone.
her calves that are the size of my chest.
She's great.
Pretty much everything from here is just it's just fun.
It
'cause
was
then we
quite
have...
a good start, to be
Yeah,
honest.
no. Now I'm going back through it because obviously I sort of speed watched it this
Yeah.
morning. TNT, Devon's
yeah.
kids versus the Gun Club kids. God, they had a lot of fun, and it was kind of heartwarming. You could see their little like jibes and jabs, their handshakes things, all really kind of cool. Austin's got this really nice, simple little counter where when he's in a hip toss and he comes down in a headlock. Just really good. They put each other over like fuck. Really good, fun match. If you want to see the next up and comers, like two more teams of brothers. Colton has the more Billy look and pulls off a lot of the
too much. He's too hunky. His chin and fucking like cheekbones are far too outstretched. He's just got too much hunk in him.
The only problem with Colton, and the reason I don't think he'll do it as well as Austin, is he's just not as weird as Austin, and you need that
generic.
You need that 20% quirky weirdness to be a wrestler.
I don't think he's got Austin's charisma.
No, he doesn't.
Exactly that.
Austin's got that. You watch them and you're focusing on Austin. But we've had a lot more time with him being in the crowd. But again, that's part of his charisma, getting that character across.
Yeah, we'll be seeing him for ages. But I'm really enjoying this team. The Colt 45 isn't as good as the Quick Draw either. I'm sorry, I'm just throwing that out there. But hopefully they'll make a good team. I'm very excited about this weird set of tag teams of second geners.
It's quite cool.
Yeah. Then just fucking blessed match next. Phoenix versus Limelight.
My match of the week, I think.
NJPW versus AAA.
Mate, it was everything you need. It was a blessed spinny rolly match.
Yeah.
I like the raw fact that Limelight can't out-chopper a luchador. Like, he slapped Phoenix that first time, and Phoenix all looked at him. He slapped him a second time, and Phoenix went, ooh, a bit. And Phoenix slapped him back, and he just went down.
He was dead. Yeah.
It was just fast. It was solid. Limelight sells strikes like a fucking boss. Phoenix used the once again a Stardom reference, the poi cartwheel maneuver on the ropes. That was wicked.
I've never seen anybody be able to pull that off apart from Poi, and I was just like, oh my god, that's Poi's finisher. I was just like, what was that? Yeah.
Poi, just so you know, Morg and our listeners, is like a 5'4", 3 stone.
Yeah.
Gymnast, pom-pom dancer kind of thing, and she does a cartwheel finisher, and you expect it from somebody who looks like a high school girl. You don't really expect it from the giant luchador with terrible tattoo. I mean, you kind of do because it's Phoenix, but generally,
the worst tattoos though, wasn't it, boys?
Oh, this was the match of terrible tattoos. How does Phoenix improve so much? Every match I see something new out of him, some combo of things he's never done before.
He's always innovating. It's ridiculous.
Because he's just that good.
Yeah.
That rope walking fight the two of them had was some fucking cruiserweight gold shit. Even with the stumbles, because obviously it's the first time they've properly done it, it still looked great. Just wonderful match. Wonderful. Watch this match. If you only take one piece of advice from me, watch this match.
I would watch this match over anything else this week. I think Morg's right. I think this was match of the week.
I would then also say you can stop watching the show here because I enjoy Seidel. I enjoy Serpentico. The match was fine in the third eye off, but
like you said, the audacity of putting another match on after that.
Yeah, that was
problem
my message.
Following that they were doomed. The second you were following that previous match, there's nothing you can do.
Luther calling Matt Seidel a head-pointing slut made me laugh though quite a lot.
It was a great line.
I'm one of the few people who's really enjoying Chaos Project as this weird slapstick team, but this wasn't a main event. Phoenix versus Limelight was a main fucking event. And the match got a bit weird about halfway through and sort of went downhill.
Do you think it's because Limelight's on NJPW Strong that they won't like put him in the final match because technically, he's signed for two companies? I don't know.
Possibly, but either way,
It's dark.
Really good
yeah.
dark. I'd give this dark a high B/A. This was really enjoyable. Now I've been back through it and talked about the really standout matches.
Some really good women's matches as well, to be
Yes,
fair
mate.
to it. Yeah.
Gave me hope for the women's league, seeing like Verti Vixen, Maddie, I forget the name, Mardy.
Yeah.
We're seeing Hirsch come up. I'm still a bit miffed about King. We know Rosa's great. Yeah, we've got hope for the women's division again, boys. Hope. Oh.
So, moving on from Dark, we move on to Dynamite. Dynamite opens, Schiavone, Excalibur, and JR on commentary. We start off straight away with Jericho and MJF with Hager versus Top Flight. MJF gets the pin with the Heat Seeker. What did you guys think of the match, and what score did you give it?
I have to start off with this. Do we really need another private party? We've got enough tag teams. Did we really need another private party? That's what my first comment was.
Another, yeah. I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
They are very similar in style and moves, though arguably I'm enjoying Top Flight more.
I prefer Top Flight, yeah, but that's just what my feelings are. We've got a lot of tag teams.
What's for our second show, which is going to be entirely trios and tag team with luchador rules. That's Matt Strange's hope for
Fucking wish.
But you're going to have 5 separate tag teams consisting of brothers, and they're going to be the league. It's job done. Anyway, I actually enjoyed this match. Solid fast start. Bless wrestling dad Jericho putting over the kids. Solid pacing. We had counted 10 shots on the top turnbuckles. When was the last time you saw that? I love that spot. That
I'm
old
trying to think now. Yeah, no, it's been a while since I've seen it.
Even the slower bits in this match and like
good,
the commercials were well paced. There was a great pickup with Dante's hot tag, and he did the standing Spanish fly again. And if you don't pop for that Spanish fly, you don't like wrestling. MJF pulling out the full rock style cells from moves, rolling over his feet.
Just
his head
destroyed, yeah.
Yeah, mate. The kickoff Jericho for the DDT on MJF by one of Top Flight. I'm not so good with their names yet. Was wonderful. Also, the week where people were calling Jericho fat on Twitter, he pulls off his lion salt from the middle rope.
Oh yeah, he's a fat man. God.
Yeah, he's so fat. The Jericho roll pin throw Top Flight out combo was great.
It was cool.
And the match wasn't buried in heel shenanigans. You know, like we expect some shit heel shenanigans.
It wasn't NWO'd or Bullet Clubbed.
Yeah, exactly. It was heelish, but this was really good for me. I gave this a B. I really enjoyed it. Arguably, now I'm thinking it back through, it could be an A, so I'm going to roll into a high B, but yeah, that's Jericho and MJF putting over the kids.
It was really solid. My worry is we just don't need more wrestlers. I still feel like we don't get enough time for the wrestlers we have. But yeah, it was a really good match. Jericho and MJF are just fantastic at putting people over. Is there anybody better in the biz than those two at making someone else look like a star? You know?
No, the biz.
Yeah, it was a high B from me.
That's interesting. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match. Lots of high flying. I only gave it a C/B, a high. No, sorry. I gave it one of my C to Bs. So I was not sure whether it was a C or a B, actually. So I probably with you guys, and I generally do this when I'm not sure with the match. I go with you guys. So yeah, it probably was a B then.
We've got a full range of Bs. We've got like C to B, high B, and
C to B on my scale. I have a C/B and a C2B, and a C2B generally means I can't decide whether it was a C or a B, and I will think about what you guys say.
But that's often the way, isn't it? Like that one week when I was like, I wasn't enjoying this match, and you two were like, but this happened, and this happened, and this happened. I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm just grumpy. And with
moving on from that, we had a Hager promo, and that was
quite
not
good.
A bad promo. Yeah.
I was like, where was this when you were
confirmed?
Where was this when you were fucking strong in Lucha Underground? For fuck's sake! Yeah, God. It was the worst part of Lucha Underground. But yeah, he was really good.
Time to
Shut
face
up.
turn the Giga, Chad, for that women's demographic.
Yes, mate.
Oh yes. Not much else to say about that. It was a good promo.
Yeah, man.
Then we had the acclaimed music video promo with somebody else doing the singing. What did you guys think of this?
Do we really need me to go on about how much I love the Acclaimed again?
God, this was bollocks, wasn't it? It was great, but it was
Twitter
bollocks.
drama made. There was a Young Boys reference for the NJPW. I love this. I gave it a B. Realistically, I can't give it an A because it wasn't that good. But on raw fucking 90s wrestling power, I gave it a B. I loved it.
This is what I love about wrestling. Complete bollocks. It was great.
Morg, you are only person who's not really sold on the Acclaimed. I'm at the top of the Acclaimed fanboy tree of them, I think.
Yes,
what did you
you are.
think?
It was all right.
It's all right.
It was a rap music video. It was different, and I liked the fact it was different. Haven't seen a sort of a promo done like that. It was well executed. Just wasn't my thing, but wrestling's
At least
three-ring
it's something
circus.
different.
Yeah.
At least it's something different. It's not just generic man coming out saying, "Oh, I'm hard."
Yes. Yeah. Following on from that, we had the Sting in-ring interview, Team Taz interruption, and then Darby learns Sting powers, and lights go out, and Darby teleports into the ring. What did you guys think of this?
I really like the fact whenever any old wrestlers do an impression of Dusty, they put the lisp on. Any of them who really get... I've seen DDP do it, and now Sting did it.
That was a really good impression of Dusty.
It was a really good impression of Dusty.
Really good impression of Dusty.
Sting, really good facing from him, to be honest. He's really solid on the mic, and I've never really been through the Sting era. You know, he's never been through
about Surface Sting though. That was interesting. It wasn't,
most powerful Sting.
Yeah, it wasn't just Crow Sting.
Yeah, it was actually Dusty. It was Dusty's Surface Sting. So I was really interested by that. But
Darby was being super extra up in the rafts, leaning against the plane.
Oh, I'm so cool leading up here.
Then Team Taz come out, obviously, and I was like, "Oh God, I can't wait for Darby to save them." And I've stated several times I was sick of Team Taz just being battered out, and I'm really glad that Cage agreed with me in the promo. Like when Cage was like, "No, fuck this, I'm sick of it," I was like,
"Finally,
yeah, all right, good."
I liked Taz referring to the "you've got a baseball bat, you've got a skateboard, I'm not risking my boys in there." I liked that as well.
Yeah. I do like that, but I've seen it so much now. Team Taz are just a vector for Darby and Sting, and that's, they were just a vector for Darby when they came in. They need to do something with Team Taz now. Like if Cage had just got in and started wailing like a maniac whilst being beaten by a baseball bat, and I'd have probably liked it a bit more, but I am at least happy.
Out. Yeah, I would like to see something happen.
So yeah, it was all right. It was good, but I've seen similar so much that I kind of want this storyline to move on or conclude.
I'm bored of it now. I don't want to sound like...
See, it was fine wrestling and fine storyline, but I think the fact it's been seen over and over and over again, except it's no longer Moxley and Darby, it's Sting and Darby beating up Team Taz. That
I think I've mentioned it before. Is that you got beat, guys? Move on. I've said this before. You've done your heel bit. Move on. There are plenty of other groups. I thought they were going to move on to the Nightmare people. I thought that was the plan when they moved on to Cody, when we were going to have that little transition.
To move on. Who could take this place? We haven't got any other heels, mate. We've got to do double duty.
Or the two heel teams are fighting each other.
One of them is no longer a heel team.
I'm not giving in to you, Morg. Then there's only faces. There's only faces. You can be a heel, but be in the face role for a brief storyline.
It's like Bizarro Stardom. It's just only faces.
Only faces.
So moving on from that, MJF backstage promo. It's MJF.
Weird. Very
I thought this-
serious. Nice.
Well, seeing as, Santana has just lost, I can't remember which close family member it was, but he has just lost someone, so, it was quite nice for them to actually be serious and not taking the piss out of it, which was good.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah,
I didn't rank it because it seemed like a more personal moment in the show.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see bonding amongst them in a way.
Yes. So we move on to then Dark Order 10 and 5 plus Cody versus Jurassic Express. Jurassic Express win with a powerbomb combination. What do you guys think of the match? Score did you give it?
This was the Marco I quite enjoy. I've bitched about Marco several times on his dark matches and stuff. But when Marco's doing momentum stuff or stuff where he's being underestimated and things,
Or being thrown as a weapon.
Or used as a weapon.
Yeah. I'm happy with this Marco. This Marco does not upset me, and I'm quite happy for him to be around.
10 ain't too much shit for my particular...
So much, yeah.
Especially after he got beaten by Dustin last week and such like. He did get some offense in, and he's got a great look and stuff. I don't think they should be sacking him off for so much beating if he's meant to be the beast of their team. I'm loving some classic Colt. I said this on the dark matches. I'm glad Colt is going back to those snarky indie stupid moves where he acts more stupid than he is and stuff. Yeah. Luchasaurus's hot tag was great, and Luchasaurus has really worked on his strikes. They're looking fucking delicious. The 10 Colt rope knockdown spot near the end was a bit too contrived for me. A bit too set up. Oh, you knock them once and they hang, and then another move comes in. Otherwise, it was all right. A little bit of story, solid wrestling. I gave it a C. Just meets every prerequisite, but didn't blow my mind in any direction.
Was a perfect pin breakup by Jungle Boy in this match, where he dived in on Marco and he hit it just at the right time, which I marked
God, yes.
I mean, he is the Michaels of that team.
Yes, mate. He is definitely the Michaels of this team. Yeah, it was solid enough. Like I said, I'd rather see 5 as much as I like 5, but it's more believable if he takes the shit than anyone else, But other than that, it was solid.
10's a beast, 5 is, although really good. He is the smallest of them.
Colt should be the one taking the shit, to be fair, just because he doesn't need it.
Yeah, either or.
Yeah.
Either or. Basically not 10. Defend 10.
I gave it a C. Mr. Muir,
I think it's
the
a
final.
I'd say it's definitely a C. It's what I expect from this, bumper division of trios that we now have. And I can imagine that Jurassic Express, will be the first trios champions when they come out.
Not Death Triangle.
No.
How dare you? How dare you?
After that, we had a Jurassic Express in-ring interview / promo, FTR with a video interruption. It's all right.
Thank God for Tully.
Thank God for Tully.
I hope he beats up Marco. Him threatening Marco really made my
day.
Would be
brilliant if he just beats him up.
If he pile drives him, I'll be like, yeah, go on, old man. Face turn for FTR if Tully beats up Marco.
So following
it was all right.
Yeah. Following on from that, Don Callis and Kenny promo. It's good. Your guys' thoughts?
I enjoy Dorky's shitlord.
I love Don Callis. Like every interview I see of him, he's just an absolute twat in them always. He's just brilliant at it, looking down at everyone, thinking he's just that much smarter than everyone else. I love it.
Yeah, just good Kenny. I'm enjoying we're getting to see dorky asshole Kenny. So
and his Jackson Pollock fucking top that he had on his jacket. God, he's a dork.
Then Eddie joins commentary. We have Butcher with Bunny and Blade versus Pac with Penta. Pac wins with Black Arrow. What do you think of the match, guys?
I obviously had a really good time in this match. The Butcher is beautiful, and he is. I don't know if you two assess men as well as I do, but you can now see the Butcher's abs, but he hasn't got any skinnier. His
He's
muscles
just bulking up. Yeah.
And God, I've missed Pac. And Pac has all of the British street fighting hand language. If you've ever been in street rooks with that, the arms out to the come on.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's perfect. I love Pac, and I will never not love Pac.
Butcher's getting a lot better. Like originally, Butcher for me was all looks, and he was a bit clumsy in
He
certain
would get
spots.
gassed up. He'd just not
He's
be. Yeah.
really improved, and Pac's selling for him. Pac will curl up like a dead spider if you hit him hard enough. He's ace. Fucking solid brawling. Eddie shouted out Wolverhampton and called it the ghetto, which in my little Midland soul. Pac.
Yes, would like to point out that Mr. Strange, you got a shout out on Dynamite.
Yeah, I did. Woo! Pac's kicks are up there with Silver. They're great. Just really, really good. Pac and everybody who fights the Butcher properly, he says in quotation marks, fights him like a mini boss. They eat big hits. They get him to run into things. They kick out his legs. Great. And fucking Pac's Black Arrow. He went so high in the air, spin round. It just I had a really good time. Arguably, it's only a B. The wrestling was good. The story was good. It didn't like step up phenomenally into any great area for me, but yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I've also forgot to mention Butcher's crossbody, which is just fucking hilarious every time.
I laugh every time I see it. I laugh every time I see Butcher. Well, how did I describe it earlier?
A sofa, tattooed sofa hitting you.
Yeah. It's literally throwing a giant tattooed sofa. It's like being hit by an entire walrus that's been kicked through an 80s biker bar, you know.
Yes, mate. Fucking ridiculous. I love it, but it just looks so ridiculous. Yeah, this was solid. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This was a little man trying to beat up this monster of a walrus. Just ridiculous, you know. Solid B from me.
Yeah, high C. I don't know why. I think I had a bit of a down on this week's Dynamite. I did watch it. We did watch it on Boxing Day, which to any American listeners is the 26th. So that might be why I had a bit of a down on it. But yeah, it was good. So I gave it a high C. So I think it's definitely a B.
Wicked. I'm pleased all my grades are going through this week.
Following on from that, Jade Cargill backstage promo.
Hey Cargill, I want a worthy opponent. Bitch, you ain't wrestled. Your worthy opponent is literally anybody they pick from the league.
I want Kota Ibushi to wrestle me because I feel I deserve it, guys. Come on.
Kota Ibushi.
I mean, who are you going to... So, as a quick aside, who are you going to give it as a worthy opponent? Because if Nyla wasn't a heel... Because my immediate thought went to where it always goes when somebody goes and starts shooting their mouth off. It's bring Kong back as a face.
Yeah, just to beat the shit out of her. Yeah.
Because it's like, I'll fight anyone. They've got to be a worthy opponent. All right, we'll give you an ex-women's champion from multiple different promotions. Here's Kong.
I'm sorry, boys. It's got to be Princess of Princesses, Yuka. That magic girl will fuck her up.
I would love to watch that match. My infinite love for Yuka.
No, who do you give her though? Like,
oh yeah, because Nyla's on her side.
It's got to be Red Velvet, I guess. But
yeah, it's going to be Red Velvet.
Hirsch just destroying her arms.
Yeah, this is yet again the. Unfortunately, she needs to go through a couple of lower tier faces first, and I think Red Velvet has got to be one of them. It's got to be sort of Red Velvet, Swole, and then you get Shida.
But this is the antithesis of the issue of the AEW women's division. That this woman's never wrestled before. Why is she?
I mean,
why is she a main character?
She is in phenomenal shape.
Oh, yes,
this woman is like a fucking Amazon, but
she's not a wrestler.
She's not a wrestler. You know.
What are you going to do with her?
You could take a sports model and set them against a professional boxer, but and they might look better than that professional boxer, but that boxer is going to leather them.
I will say, remember one of the last people who came into wrestling who was a sports model went on to become one of the greatest Western women's wrestlers of all time, Trish Stratus.
I get you,
So
mate,
you know,
but
I'm just going to say, if she's got the
But sh-
passion for the business and she's been doing the work.
those were completely different times.
But I
mate.
also agree with you. I mean, yeah, come on, I want to words about, but that it's just good heel work. I mean, to be fair, you can just feed her a load of faces.
Hirsch eater after joining Team Taz. Job done.
Just instantly defeated because this story's over because Brandy's not here anymore. She will
How
be
many
faced.
arm bars can you
gonna
take,
be
Cargill?
she's going to eat red velvet, unfortunately. Following on from that, Kip, Penelope, and Miro segment.
The biggest breaking of kayfabe I've ever seen in wrestling. Does anybody here believe, with what we've seen, that Trent could be defeated off screen with no one noticing?
No, mate. No, mate. It
Trent
would
has
have
10,000 hit points.
It would have to be like Okada, Ibushi,
Just beating
Naito.
him.
No, they just ran over him with the ambulance.
Just a
That would
Trent-sized-
keep him down.
What you did, it was only a very short video segment. What you didn't see was Trent getting up out of the ambulance 2 seconds later. You see,
Yeah,
that's
just
the
fine.
problem. They cut the feed very quickly.
Kenny one-winged angel him beforehand. Well, what happened? What did we miss?
Oh, new conspiracy theory. Miro and Kip are Kenny's backup.
That's the only way to keep Trent down. I mean, I've been waiting for this wedding for 6 months now. And
When are we going to get to the wedding?
Can we either get some of the wedding, or can we conclude this best friend storyline? Like, I enjoyed the bit where they sort of jumped him a bit, and I've enjoyed some of it, but I don't know, it's not popping with me like it could do.
They need a street
Maybe
fight.
that's just me.
They need a street
Yeah,
fight.
they do. It's the boys' best
They need a
territory.
hardcore tag team belt
Right, deep
for the
breaths,
best
guys.
friends to hold.
Deep breaths.
I refuse.
Dustin Rhodes with Lee Johnson versus Uno with Grayson. Dustin Rhodes wins with a running bulldog.
Yes, he does. Why would he have to bring out
He
finish?
does have a very good running bulldog. But
I don't give a fuck.
Dustin is a very good wrestler. I have had to put aside all of my feelings in this match to
Get a
like
fucking
review
entrance.
it fairly. Uno didn't even get an entrance. That's my first note, followed by why not just call it now?
Yes, mate.
Is Dustin a face or a heel? I just don't care. Dustin just won. There was some minor offense for Uno. And
It was like the 10 match, mate.
The pacing was fine. All of the moves were solid to good. Uno got a little bit of control in it. It was fairer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, mate. Fuck off.
Then the end just sort of came out of nowhere. I gave it, technically, according to my own scale, a C. The pacing was fine. The moves was fine. Got things going in each way. We had story going in and out. Technically, on my own ranking system, it's a C.
B-, and you shut your damn mouth. I'll come over there with a bowl of soap.
I'm going to write down, before we go through it, I'm just going to note down my post-match notes are, oh, look, Dustin's cool. Oh, cool, QT's here. Oh, cool, the jobber took them out.
I would be okay with that if it was building to him actually getting a push over these old fossils, just destroying the division. Oh, God.
I want to give it a D, but I've given it a C out of fairness.
No.
No.
Fucking D.
unfortunately, I also gave it a C. For the
I'm
same
quitting
reason.
this podcast. I'm starting a Mayu podcast instead.
It was everything that Strange said under the classifications. It was a C. I didn't agree with it. I didn't like the result. I thought that using the
Do you
running
have no
bulldog
passion
for a
anymore for
finisher.
wrestling, guys? Have you lost your passion for wrestling and not given this a D? I must call you out on this. Right, anyway, let's carry on.
All right then, I'll tell you what, because I gave it a C/D.
You know what? We all thought it was shit, even though it was fine. It gets a D.
Yeah,
right?
fuck it, it's a D.
Thank you. Let your hate flow.
Emperor Muir. Following on from that, Sean Spears backstage promo.
Now this was good.
Yeah, I want to know what you guys think before I give my thoughts on this.
I just wrote down good Spears in because I just sat there and enjoyed it because I love him.
Because he's great.
He was my first AEW crush.
I thought this was an A. This was a really good promo.
I really enjoyed his vulnerability in this.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, this was really good and interesting and made me go, ooh, I wonder what you're doing next then. So yeah, so I gave this.
Really?
This is one of those rare cases where I actually rated the promo.
What did you think of it, Muir? Did you rate it? You're
I didn't
an acting specialist.
I'm not an acting specialist. I thought
You
it was
watched
really...
out of the three of us, you watch the wankiest films, and I watch some wanky films.
I am going to state that my qualifications are in acting.
Really?
Yes.
Sorry, Muir's just the only person I value the opinion on movies for. Because
that's fair. That's fair.
Most of our friends, most of our circle, really love anything Marvel or Star Wars and that sort of thing. Anything with special effects and flashy lights and explosions and a famous actor.
I'm totally with you there. I do like a good, well acted movie, but yeah, I was much more theatre than that movie.
Okay, definitely was great at acting in this. I really enjoyed it. I loved the change from trying to act like you're super cocky at the start of it. Then you unleashed that he was slightly vulnerable, and then he just left. I thought it was great.
Yes, mate.
I thought it was solid. I thought it was a high B or an A.
I'm giving it an A then. Wicked. Yeah. Just because of my forbidden love of Sean Spears.
Why is it forbidden?
Plus an actor's opinion and a film snob's opinion. Amazing.
Oh, God.
Moving on from there, Shida backstage promo.
Baden with the weakest assault in wrestling history.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not good.
What way to bury herself? God, why
that
did
was
they
a
do
mistake.
that?
She shouldn't have attacked Shida.
Why? Why do you need this? She's meant to be the supernatural monster. Why is she coming out?
Peered behind her out of nowhere.
I know it's very Undertaker-esque, but just do it like the Undertaker.
She threw elbows that were weaker than Moxley's knee strikes.
No,
and they don't
nothing's weaker than those knee strikes.
Shane McMahon's punches.
Oh.
That's only after he potatoed the Undertaker and Mark.
No, they've always been terrible.
Yeah, but
he legitimately has the worst punches. They make Cena's old punches before Cena could really look deadly.
Oh God!
And they were bad.
Maybe that should be the competition: Moxley's knee strikes versus Sean's punch. Shane's
punches versus Cena's with the bar set at Cena's original punches. Yeah, it was an alright promo though.
Yeah.
Set up. Following on,
got ruined by a light cuddling.
Yeah. Shida versus Alex Gracia. Shida wins with the Falcon Arrow. What do you guys think of the match?
High-paced start. Gracia got in a lot more moves than I'd have expected or probably allowed for a match that was basically just a vector for Abaddon. The abandoning at the wing, the abandoning at the ringside was better, but Shida's running knee into her was a bit weirdly weak. I gave it a C for like combined storyline and things. Probably a low C. I don't know if we necessarily needed this moment or another match just to build up the Abaddon thing if we've already had like a promo and some moments for it. Maybe I'm being overly critical, but it was alright. It's alright.
I think you are being overcritical. I think this, if anything, damaged Abaddon. I think she needs to be protected more, and this is just like having her sitting out in the crowd, making her look like a normal, wrestler instead of keeping that slight supernatural feel to her. Damages her.
We did get a bite spot though, and that's rare.
I know. Shida did carry that at the end. It did make it a bit more interesting, Bless Shida and her acting.
My problem with it is you are making Abaddon out to be the Undertaker, inverted commas, making her out to be the Undertaker. And if you're going to have her at ringside, have her just appear.
Mm-hmm.
and then cut away, and then the next time you have her, do the thing where that sort of like in horror films.
If Darby can teleport, a Barry
Yes,
can teleport.
yes, and have that like they did with the Matt Hardy entrance, and I think it would be less silly because the Matt Hardy one was supposed to be silly. I think you could do a good job of making it creepy, of having her just keeps on appearing closer to the ring side.
I think it would have been better if it was quick squash, then you follow Sheeda back walking through, and there like some lights flicker and a bad
She's
like
like
yeah.
in the lights or in a
Yeah,
proper
yeah.
Lucha Underground style. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Shad, I have watched every Japanese...
Taz, you've got...
Taz.
No,
Taz
Shad!
and Shad. I have watched more Japanese horror films than you can imagine. I've watched American remakes. I've watched the original TV serialization of The Grudge before it was even the Japanese movies. If you need help with scaring a Japanese woman with horror scenes, I will write them for you. I have seen 1,000 scared Japanese women, and I know how to
quick, going to lay down a challenge for you, Mr. Strange.
Go on.
Next week's tier list, or the next tier list you do.
Hey, horrors.
Yes, J-horrors, please.
Awesome. I can do that.
Don't think we've done those yet. Moving on to our main event, the Acclaimed versus the Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team Championships. The Bucks win with the BTE trigger. What did you guys think of the match? What score did you give it? Oh, and I gave Sheeda a C as well.
Cool. We just sort of skimmed over. Yeah, it was there.
Yeah, it was good movement.
Acclaimed versus the Bucks. I was worried about this because there wasn't a lot of time left on the episode when it started.
No, there was not, mate.
And it started pretty like one-sided.
It was proper squashy at the start.
Yeah, it was strong. The pacing was good. You can see the difference in the Acclaimed. Owens is the better wrestler of the two, and that's not to put Caster down. He's very good, but Caster is very much. He has always got a different facial expression or sell on in that ring. And then we came back. It came through to, we got a nice rotation through wrestlers, through moves, really solid. Matt's hot tag was phenomenal. And as much as I shitted on the Doomsday device being overused earlier, I do think that Escalera Doomsday device the Bucks are doing, although it needs a little bit of polishing, is a really nice idea. Takes it in its own way.
Though. Yeah.
Caster rolling through on a vertical suplex from the top corner was immense. Like that strength when he went over with the verti, rolled up and picked him back up again off of the corner. That's phenomenal. The ref being knocked out scene was good. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. The Bucks obviously got the kids over. The Acclaimed are reading as these dickhead, rapper, arrogant douchebags, which is what they're meant to be. And as much as I don't think the BTE trigger is the best finisher the Bucks got, they did do more bang for your buck on the outside earlier, which doesn't make any sense because surely that would just hurt you more. I mean, if I did a backflip onto you on the floor and a backflip onto you on the ring, my impact on you is not edited by the hardness of the floor. It just hurts my knees. Otherwise, yeah, this was a nice creative match. Once again, we're going through this phase of the more established ones getting the kids over, basically. And I think this did a really good job of that. The Acclaimed were never going to win. You know, you're not going to give...
in their right mind would think that the Acclaimed should win this.
No, but I really enjoyed it and I gave it a B again. There's pretty much a load of Bs for my rankings this week. And there's been a lot of getting over of the young blood. And this was just that again.
Well, it's always nice to have the young... Oh, they're always getting over the young kids. I think they're actually doing wrestling properly, so it's always nice to see. My main worry was at the start of this, it just felt like the Acclaim were just getting stomped, but then it did pick back up. It was very solid. I like the Acclaimed a lot. I think they're a very good mid-table asshole heel team. I think they're great for that. And it was a solid match, and the winners were the correct winners. I just hate the BTE trigger. I think it's just so sad to see the Bucks, who are so flippy, so good, they just do this double knee as their finisher. It's just like, that's a bit lame, ain't it? You know,
especially as Bushi and Ennis old finisher.
Yes, mate.
Golden trigger.
Yeah. Oh well, whatever. It was.
I talked over you. What did you give it?
It's a solid B, mate. At least, you know. There was
Go
nothing
on then,
wrong with
Morg.
it.
You're our only acclaimed, that are only not convinced by the acclaimed. You're not.
No,
an acclaimed
it was a B.
detractor.
It was a B. This
was a
was a
B.
really good match. This, this is where I started to see something of the Acclaimed in the ring. I'm
Yeah, I
still
got
not
you.
convinced about their gimmick, but yeah, the match itself was really good, and this is where I saw that. Yeah, it was a solid B.
If you want any a bit of boosting on their gimmick, like that is actually Max Caster rapping and freestyling most of the time. He does Freestyle Fridays on his Twitter, where he just does random rapping himself. He writes and does all of that himself.
Yeah, and the last person who did that became one of the biggest stars in Western wrestling. You know, so
I'd argue that Caster's a little bit better at rapping than John Cena. I'd argue
Cena was pretty good.
Yeah, Cena was good in the day. I'm sorry.
I bet you guys like Vanilla Ice and Marky
I
Mark.
don't.
No, he got props from proper hip hop artists for actually
as
being.
Much as
yeah,
smashing on Cena's, very comical and very, this day. But I still think he was good at rapping. He was good at his freestyling. He wouldn't have been the star he was if he wasn't good at it. But yeah, I prefer the Acclaimed anyway.
Nice polish.
They're much better shit talkers.
Yes.
But they're not being held back by trying to be a shit talking rapper in a PG company.
Yeah. I'm cool. I'm Will Smith.
Yeah.
Respect your mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Overall, Mr. Strange, what is our thoughts? What is our final score for Dynamite? Our final score giving of this year.
Ooh. Well, we've got an A and a D. They cancel. Otherwise, it's pretty much straight C's and B's with just the B's taking it, giving us overall. And I was actually a bit critical of this Dynamite when I watched it, but now we've talked through a lot more of it. I agree. It was a B rank show. Everything was kind of solid. We got the kids over. We had some good promos. There were some weaker spots. Pretty much overall, the show was actually really solid, really good. So we have B ranked it.
So there you have it. That's our thoughts on this week's shows for AEW. If you'd like to give us your opinions, you can send them to wrestleopinionated@gmail.com. You can contact us, WrestleOP on Facebook, WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Now, unfortunately, due to this being the Christmas week and everything being a bit hectic and up in the air, we have decided that we are just going to do a shorter show today, and the fact that we're going to be probably recording another show in about 3 days.
Some of our listeners will be listening to this before watching Dynamite, probably today. Now you're listening to it.
They won't. This probably won't get uploaded until Thursday.
But English people don't watch Dynamite till Thursday night.
Yeah. So we won't be doing our favourite matches review this week. You'll have to wait till next week, or maybe even the week after, when we'll be reviewing Sasha Banks versus Bayley at TakeOver Brooklyn. I've actually remembered what it is now. I've watched it.
1 second, I'm writing this down. TakeOver Brooklyn. Right.
A link to which is on our Facebook page, and I've also uploaded a link to Black Lotus versus Black Lotus Triad versus Penta for those who would like to see that episode of Lucha Underground. We'll try and upload the links to Facebook for these matches.
I was meant to do that.
And the relevant promos that lead into the matches. I think that's all that's left to be said. So I'd like to say thank you to Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. You can find us Wrestleopinionated on Spotify, Wrestleopinionated on YouTube, and on Anchor.fm. Mr. Muir.
Thank you for listening. Sorry it's so late this week, but that's mostly on me, and I hope you have a great holidays. Over to you, Strange.
Aww. Cheers for listening. It's the patronizing, sarcastic part where I talk about YouTube. Please click that bell thingy. Subscribe, like, follow the algorithm. YouTube algorithm, like, beep, subscribe. Boop. Beep, boop, robot. If you listen on Spotify, Anchor, whatever the other platforms we're on are, please give us the little like, 5 ranks, whatever, buff us up. Share this to your friends, family. Get them watching wrestling, because wrestling is better than the things they like. And yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope you had a good Christmas. Back to you, Morg.
So all that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.